So where's manufacturing heading towards? It's no longer just about the data, getting to the data, but understanding what the data is going to do to help you change your business, to be in business as you move forward.
Hello everyone, welcome to IMTS TV. I'm Penny Brown and today I'm talking to Doug Bellin of Cisco Systems, who will talk to us about the Internet of Everything and the opportunities that lie within manufacturing. How are you today, Doug?
Doing well, thank you.
Good. So can you kind of tell us what is the current structure? You mentioned this as the Internet of Everything, not just things. What is this current structure within manufacturing?
So what we're seeing is we started with the Internet of Things, where it was really talking about the connection of the data, the sensors out there. What we've now evolved into is more the Internet of Everything, which is taking the people, the process, the data, and the things, but not just getting the data off those things, but adding intelligence to those. So it's an evolution that we're seeing occurring from IoT to IoE as digitization of the manufacturing that's happening out there.
It sounds like right now people are seeing a lot of opportunity, of course, just in terms of value, a potential 21% growth in global profits by 2022, but there's a lot of challenges and risks. So what are you seeing as far as the kind of the conflict between those two?
So the big thing that we're seeing is what we're calling value at stake. And value at stake is when we look at a customer, we work with them, we add value to their business. Now this could be an increase in OEE, this could be uptime, this could be better product throughput, this could be better product quality as well as we go forward. The issue is that when we start looking at the sensors and talking about proliferation of sensors out there, people get scared. And it means more data, and then adding not just the data, but the intelligence that I talked about earlier. Mm-hmm. So now what we're seeing is, what do we do, how do we do with that type of capability moving forward?
So how will we address things like security? That seems to be a really big concern for people.
Security is huge, and part of it is just because of where manufacturing has evolved from. If we look historically, security was by obscurity. I don't connect that machine up, it's got to be secure then. But the reality is, even over the last 10 or 15 years, those unconnected machines were now being connected up. A lot of times it was that machine builder doing a 3G modem on the back of the machine to be able to do things like patch management or updates for that consumer out there. Well, that meant you're connected. And then there's people out there dialing, if you want to call it dialing for dollars. They're trying to find a modem, break in your machine, get that information off that machine. That then evolved into, how do I connect those machines up? Well, again, those machines might have been connected in a cluster or in the cell, but they weren't connected up to the internet. Still, that security by obscurity, forgetting about the 3G modem that was sitting there. Well, security is key then. And what we're doing is we build our architectures, we build our design plans. Security is paramount from day one. And it's using what IT has looked at for the last 20, 30 years from a security standpoint, and taking those nuances and best practices over from IT into the operations side of the house. So it's not starting from scratch, but it's taking those best practices and then trying to build the nuances that operations needs, not to stop the business, but to help enable the business.
Now, a company like Cisco Systems, very well known in IT for quite a while now, what would drive a company like that to get interested in manufacturing?
So that 14.4 trillion value at stake, about 40% of that number is actually manufacturing, which is a large number out there. And we look at manufacturing, financial services, retail, a lot of different industries from a vertical knowledge standpoint. But a lot of those other industries have been doing data for a long time. Right? You don't go to a bank anymore, you almost go to a data center to do your transactions in a banking industry. And they've been doing that for years. Now what we're seeing is the manufacturers need to accelerate, need to drive into that same type of knowledge, same type of digital domain as they go forward. So it's really that evolution from how was I an analog, or in other words, somebody writing something down on a piece of paper and trying to react to it, to how can I use that information from that digital capability as they go forward.
Now, you had also mentioned when you spoke that something like 90% of all machinery is not connected at this point, which is, obviously a significant amount. So if I'm like a smaller or medium-sized manufacturer, I'm watching this video, I'm hearing all these things, but really have no idea how to get started, what would you recommend?
The base is, in my opinion, the first thing that has to happen is IT and operations need to talk to each other. What I find a lot of times working with customers is they don't. It's a love-hate, probably more hate than love relationship of, operations goes, oh, I need a port to be open. That's an IT standard. So they go to IT, they open up the port, they never talk to them again. But what now needs to happen is that integration between those two teams of, it's no longer operations, it's no longer IT, it's operational technology that needs to start working together. That will help build that trust, that understanding of what operations is trying to do to help educate IT, but also then working with some of the standards out there with what IT has done to be able to understand what operations can do as they move forward.
It sounds like there's a lot of opportunities for things like remote monitoring and maybe mass customization, which is getting to be a bigger and bigger deal in manufacturing, but especially with things like maintenance. So this allows you to move into a preventative maintenance side from a predictive maintenance side. Can you explain those two, the differences between those two?
Yeah, if we look at, I look at maintenance as a continuum, and right now there's a large amount of companies, small, medium, up to the big guys, that their maintenance is, uh-oh, it's broke, we need to fix it. It's not really maintenance, it's break fix. Then you start evolving into, okay, planned maintenance downtime type of things. And think of your car. So I've got a car, and back before synthetic oils came out, it was every X amount of miles I need to change the oil no matter what. That of course has increased because synthetics allow you to do, instead of 3,000, 5,000, 7,000 miles. But that is a use-based maintenance or just planned maintenance type of thing. Okay, after X amount of usage, X amount of hours, I'm going to do maintenance and bring it down. Now what we're looking at is these machines have a lot more sensors on them. So those sensors could be temperature, could be viscosity, could be vibration sensors that sit on those machines and actually start giving you intelligence about what's going on. What we're able to do is build a baseline norm of what's happening on those machines. So what should the vibration level be? What should the temperature level be? What should the viscosity of the fluids be? What we can then do is start actually using those sensors to start seeing variances occurring. So once that variance starts to occur, we can then start saying, okay, last time I saw this, I knew that in X amount of days or weeks or months or more usage, I started seeing failures start to occur out there. So that's where we start getting into the preventative or predictive, actually the predictive maintenance capabilities, where what we're doing is saying, hey, this is not just going to break, but it's going to break in this time frame. So now what we can do is model that capability and start building algorithmic curves to start doing better prediction out there.
Since you've been in this line of work, is there maybe one particular story or case study that stands out to you as really impactful?
Yeah, I think I'll use my kids as an example. It's the lot size of one capability that my boys want. So I've got a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old, and they're big into sports. And their thing is, I want my shoes with my color, my name on it, my whatever from that standpoint. And the only way that Nike or Adidas, whoever they want to order that month, is able to do that is be able to do that whole flexible manufacturing capability. So what they want to be able to do is integrate your design, which you're creating on the line, online, into that machine capability as quick as possible. So it's no longer, in the past, how was it done? It was somebody got a work order, they looked at it, they walked over to the machine, they typed it in, the work changed on that machine from that standpoint. Well, that's ineffective, it doesn't work. Too much downtime, too costly to build from that standpoint. But if I can go from that digital plan, which my kids built, in theory online, automatic, push that information to the machine that's building it for me, have that customization come out, my costs get lowered, they get the customer interaction that's really good moving forward, and you get that customer experience that starts happening as well. So it's really evolving from that customer experience, the better data integration, the better connectivity that needs to occur from that standpoint, and starts driving a whole new business case.
Lots of exciting things happening. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
This has been Penny Brown for IMTS TV.